Must say, let's step back for a moment. Let's just pause just for a minute and think through the implications of our actions today so that this does not spiral out of control.
That was Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California in 2001 when she was the sole member of Congress to vote against the war in Afghanistan. And she is with us now. And Congresswoman, I want to thank you for being with us this morning. You're watching this as the bookend to what was really that day, I think, that you were on the floor and Congress was deciding how to react. 9/11 had just happened days before. At this point in time, the big question is, Americans are in Afghanistan, and it appears 5,000 to 10,000 of them may not have an exit out. In addition, you have tens and tens of thousands more Afghan allies who also cannot find a way out. What are you learning? What can be done to get those folks to safety as the U.S. has promised them?
Thanks so much, Brianna. And this is a very dire situation in many ways. It's an emergency. And so we have to use all of our tools to make sure that each and every American, each and every Afghan ally that get out are evacuated, and we must do this quickly. No one expected, and I think the president laid it out, to the Taliban would rush on and take over Kabul in such a short period of time. But having said that, we have to use every tool that we have to ensure their safety. And in fact, it's got to be orderly. We've got to expedite these special immigrant visas. We've been working on this for months now. I chair the subcommittee on appropriations, which appropriates much of the funds that we need. And so we've got to do this. This is an emergency, and we've got to protect everyone and evacuate all of those that need to be evacuated and placed out of harm's way. And it's a dire situation, but we have to do this. We must do it.
I do want to ask you, as we watch that moment of you on the floor, how do you think all these years later, after being criticized for your vote that day?
Well, Brianna, it's not, I take a lot of criticism. We all do, for a lot of issues. I think what's important is that we gave, and this is what I knew then, we were giving any president the authority to use force forever, which established the framework for forever wars. And Congress has a responsibility to debate and authorize the use of force. You don't give it to presidents just to use in perpetuity, and that's what happened. I knew then that there's no military solution in Afghanistan. You have to understand the history there. And so we can't nation build. Our troops did everything we asked them to do. They accomplished their goals and their mission. Why in the world would we allow any president to keep our brave troops in harm's way for this long is mind-boggling. But now, having said that, we have to learn the lessons. And we have to understand that we have three aspects of our foreign and military policy: diplomacy, development, and defense. And we've got to rebalance those so that we don't end up in a situation where there's 20 years more, because if we have our troops there 20 more years, we'll still be in the same situation as we're in now. And so it's important that we learn the lessons. But right now, we've got to get people out. We've got to make sure these evacuations go smoothly and safely. And that's what we have to focus on.
Yeah, first things first there. Congresswoman Barbara Lee, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Nice being with you, Brianna.